This is Akashvani. Titled English at Workplace. Participating in the interview is Senior Principal of SMS Group of Schools, Chennai, Dr. Subbulakshmi. Interviewing her is Dr. R.SriHari.
Good day, listeners. You are listening to Akashvani Chennai, and this is your R.SriHari. And the topic that we are going to discuss today is English at workplace. English is a language of communication, hence it's very important to know how to use English in a proper way at our workplace. So to enlighten us on this topic today, we have Professor Subbulakshmi with us. She is a senior academician and head English. Good day, ma'am.
Good day, Harry.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine, very fine.
Thank you so much for coming to our studios, and we are eagerly waiting to get your knowledge today.
Excellent. I think this is a very good opportunity. English is almost treated as mother tongue of the educated.
Okay.
I think we see in most of the houses, this man comes from some other language. The wife also is from some other language, and the common language that they use is become English. So when this has attained that status, that is something really great, and this is the order of the day. Not knowing it is not at all good. We will be treated as illiterates. So literacy goes along with that, I think, nowadays.
Okay, ma'am. So knowing English has become order of the day. So we have started the show with a very good statement. Ma'am, before getting into proper topic, I just have one doubt. So when we talk about English as a language, I have seen people using various terminologies, or I can say various types or classification of English. Some say we have spoken English. Some use a term called as communicative English. Some say there's a term called as business English. And some say there's also something called as advanced English. So basically, what are these and what are the difference between these types of English, ma'am?
Actually, every language has its own unique feature. Every language will be having. So French is supposed to be a language of love. Latin is supposed to be a language of law.
Okay.
As we know pretty well, our Tamil is supposed to be a language of devotion. So similarly, Malayalam is for humor, Telugu is for music, and in this order, English is for commerce. When English is a commercial language, so the world has become commercial, we keep saying. So naturally, this has its own predominance. That will be there. And the only thing is, all these names, spoken English is just spoken. As the name says, spoken English is just spoken. They have to speak, that's all. We need not be much bothered about grammar there. And understanding alone is important. So they are going to speak, they are not going to write. So whereas in communicative English, they have to write.
Okay.
They have to send a message at least. They have to send any letter or any such thing. Or whenever they communicate, they cannot be totally away from grammar. So some, it may have a low profile, but at the same time, they must do some attention, must give some attention to grammar. That is important, of course.
Okay.
So spoken English is for spoken totally, as the name itself defines, whereas this one is for communication. So we have to communicate our ideas to others. And whereas the third one is business English. We are going to focus on that particular thing today. This is what is very important. This is ruling the entire world, I can say now. And this is the day, for English, business English. And we will be talking about it in more detailed form towards as we progress.
Okay. And the last one is our advanced
Advanced English is for research.
Okay.
Maybe for research or for books, and the editors will be using it and writers will be using it. And of course, they can be a little more bombastic. They can be flowery language. Of course, they should be didactic also. So all such things will be there in that. So they have to focus on grammar. That is 100% essential. Whereas all the other things can be utilized according to the place. So in short, all the four are the same, but the context differs. That's all. That's very important. Under one umbrella, under this language umbrella, we can classify all these things.
Okay, so language is the same, but the utilization varies from place to place.
Of course.
Before officially getting into our workplace, it's very important to attend an interview and to get selected for the job, isn't it? So, could you please teach us how to write a structured CV, how to prepare a CV, and also how to write a good covering letter while going for an interview?
The people, those who are coming fresh from college, and they should have a different attitude. And the people, those who are going to shift from one job to the other job, so they have to have a different attitude.
Okay.
A few years back also, we were having one CV for any concern. So, once we prepare a CV, that is for the school, that is for the company, that is for the institute, anywhere, wherever they go for, even for a factory, if you are going to present a CV, the same will be sent. But nowadays, that is not at all admissible. That cannot be agreed because, for 1,000 jobs, lakhs and lakhs of applications are coming.
Okay.
So they cannot manually segregate them. So now they're using a system called ATS, that is application tracking system. So that system, negatives certain things, rejects. So when that rejects, certain things should not be there.
Okay.
Number one, our CV should be very, 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 very clear for the job. And let us know, first of all, for which job are we applying. And, skill set may be different. And one person may be gifted with a lot of skills. And he cannot write about everything in the same thing. And if you're going to apply for the post of a developer, let him do that. Or medical representative, let him write only that. But whichever is suitable, whichever is to be projected, he has to write. Okay, in CV, earlier, we used to write all personal data. Nowadays, they don't bother about personal data at all. So we have to give the name, of course, date of birth, of course. Certain things are mandatory. Mandatory ones can be there. Whereas we have to say what you have done earlier. For a fresh candidate, maybe school achievements, college achievements, all those achievements without that capital I. No need of saying, in English we have one thing called active voice and passive voice. Let us use passive voice in all these things.
Okay.
Active voice, I did this, I got this first prize, instead of saying all those things. So first prize was awarded to me. We can say like that. That will be a little more polite. Little more official also. So let us do that. And our skill set, choose the skill set which is required by the concern, by the firm. And that should be projected. That is very important. So customize your application, your CV and application. That is very, very important. And please avoid your personal details. And unnecessary details need not be given. Awards, of course, can be listed out. And more than awards, what is required is by your work in a company, maybe in any firm or anywhere, if they have been benefited in some way, maybe you must have reduced the wastage. If 3% is reduced wastage, and that metric will be very important. So matrices, please give all metrics. Metrics will be very, very important. And that has to be mentioned. Instead of you are saying or maybe talking about your awards, all these figure and facts will be talking about you in a better way. So that is very important. As far as covering letter is concerned, so let us write all from to everything as usual, no comma, everything, and write the date on the right side. And, let it be very official. What I said for CV will hold good here also.
Okay.
So you need not have any personal statement or request or any such thing. So you say that this is CV is attached to this, and you will give an assurance that you will execute your duties in the best way. That should be given. And leave taking must be neatly given, like yours faithfully or any such thing. Of course, after joining, in corporate companies nowadays, they call them by name also. But that cannot be incorporated now. Okay. So let us say yours faithfully or any such thing. And let us not get words from ChatGPT and all. So we can get, there is no problem. The people, those who depend on somebody else for writing or anything, they can do, but let them be aware of one thing, that when they face the interview, they have to answer. So ChatGPT will not come at that time, or maybe the person who wrote for you cannot come at that time. So they have to answer. So let it be their own language. That will be better. So let them develop that simple basic English. Need not be a flowery language. Let it be a simple, neat English. That is enough.
Now, suppose an individual is going for an interview. So how to attend an interview, and what are the components that he should focus on while attending an interview?
Interview is going to be a happy task. So they need not have it as a time of tension or any such thing. Let them be calm and cool, composed. Okay, let them go like that, and let them have a neat dress. And they should have, even if they want water, let them have a glass of water. That is better. Okay, so let them be very polite. Instead of asking them, can you do this? Can you do this? Or something like that. Can you tell me the time or something? Instead, could you? Would you? All such English will be more polite.
Okay.
So let us make it polite everywhere. When the candidate comes there, let them not give false hopes to the people, the employer. Let them create that confidence in them that they will be executing the work in a neat way. Okay. For that, they have to have neat dress, neat shoes, and everything. Let them not wear gaudy colors and all. Okay. Let them not laugh out. They should not smile. Its smile should be like bud-like smile. It should not be a flower-like smile. Okay. So it should not be like that. Let them keep themselves in a very cool way. Okay. Polite words. Let them be very passive about it, and let them not say any no directly. No is never accepted. Okay. So even if they want to change something, if they ask them, for instance, the vacancy is there in Bangalore, would you mind going there, or will you mind going there? If they ask such a question, he doesn't like to go to Bangalore. So he can say, no, I cannot go there. He cannot say that. Instead, he can say, I was used to Chennai. I am here only. My parents are here. So I feel Chennai would be preferable. But if the vacancy is only there, I don't mind accepting it. I will. So let them say like that. But let him give his own preference also. So in a polite way, let him give his preference. So your approach should be polite. And at the same time, highly diplomatic. Unnecessary information should not be given.
Like for example, ma'am.
At this instance, I think I have to say about a person who was appointed for a music program, and on that day his sister passed away. And he had the telegram, in the olden days, telegram, and he kept it in his jibba. And he came there, he played his Mridangam, and after that, after 10 o'clock, he started to his native. And at that time only he tells the leader of the troop. And he was wondering, how did you keep this as a secret? No, for me, commitment is more important. So this commitment is required. And now he is a very great Mridangist in US.
Okay.
So that is there because the only thing is commitment is required, and your commitment should be directly or indirectly exposed to the employer. That is important. And above all, a very important thing is as you get entry into the room, so have a smiling face. Okay. After they offer the seat, you simply sit down. Okay. Once they ask for the file, you give it, and have a smiling face throughout. Okay. So whether everything is smooth or not, in the same way, wish them first of all. Say nice good morning or good afternoon or whichever is required. And similarly, when you take leave also, say one nice thanks to everybody. And be punctual. So if the meeting starts at 10 o'clock, at least be there before half an hour, so that you can get accustomed to the place also. So you will know the certain important things.
So far we spoke how to write a resume, how to write a covering letter, and how to present ourselves before the interview board. Once an individual gets selected, what sort of English he should adapt at his workplace, ma'am?
As he gets entry into an office, let him behave as an officer. Okay. So he's an employee there, and he has to know how to behave with everybody. Number one, he should be friendly. So friendliness is very important, but at the same time, let him not tell all his personal stories to everybody. and let him not carry tales also. That also is not at all expected. So be very official, have simple English, and your English should be grammatical, of course. And jargons can be used, and certain things, in some companies, as soon as possible. For that, they say as up, end of the day, EOD, they say. And all these things are accepted once. When the computer accepts it, when the people accept it, so naturally you can make use of them. And if it is going to, anything unparliamentary cannot be used, that's all. So if it is going to be understood by others, and if they are acceptable, let it be. No, you can make use of such languages. But of course, grammar should be there, that politeness must be there. Even before, as I told you earlier, no without saying no. If you are giving your project, first project is given, and they find some mistakes, and don't be very violent. Don't say, how can you ever say this and all. Don't ever say that. When something, some mistake is pointed out, maybe in a very polite way or a harsh way, accept it. Please have an open mind towards all reviews. You tell them, I didn't see this from this angle, and I didn't know about it. Sorry, very sorry. Of course, I will correct it in the next project. So you say that, and you correct yourself. And if you are going to extract work from others, maybe if you are getting appointed in a higher position, so when they come with some mistakes, and you just talk to them and you tell them that, appreciate, first of all, they have taken some steps. Okay, so of course, good, very good. So you have given a timely presentation. It's really good. But of course, I think that if this point is going to be given in a different way, will that be okay? Think of that. When you give a feedback, there is something called sandwich feedback mechanism. This is a beautiful one. So as sandwich, the first layer must be some sort of mild appreciation, okay, mild acknowledgement. The second can be the exact correction that is required. The third one should be hope. You will do it well. I know that you will come out with a very good suggestion. So such things must be there. This mechanism will work out very well. And let us know one more thing in any corporate, especially in business arena, very important thing is everything is cloud-based now. So long in schools and colleges, we must have been working individually. So all our projects must have been submitted as individuals. Whereas now, everything is group. A team is giving it. And when a team submits it, naturally knowledge sharing must be there. Whatever you learn, you cannot store it in your brain alone. Okay? So you expose and you talk to others, and you will be having frequent meetings and all. So online meetings, and when you have such meetings, share your knowledge, because everything is closed-based. Unless and until it is going to be confidential, unless and until if the company demands confidentiality, no need to be confidential as far as knowledge is concerned. Of course, when you leave your spot, please lock your system and go. That is very important. Of course, that is carefulness.
But workplace is not about just one person, isn't it? It's a group dynamics. So when interacting at workplace, what sort of English slang an individual should adapt with his seniors, with his colleagues, and with his subordinates, ma'am?
Of course, which has to be known to everybody. A.G. Gardner, once upon a time, he wrote a beautiful anecdote, ordinary one, on saying please. It was titled. And it's a conversation between a liftman and a customer. And the liftman says, liftman, of course, welcomes him. And he comes there and he says, top. And liftman insists on his saying, top, please.
Okay.
And he says, why should I say please? It's your work you are doing. And I want to go to top. So you send me to top, that's all. So he keeps on saying, no, you have to say. You have to say. This goes on and on. And at last, the author says that his demand is not very rude or anything. It's a natural demand. So by saying please, he's not going to lose anything. The customer is not going to lose anything. So such lubricants are very essential in life.
Okay.
Lubricants like please, thank you, very sorry, and better luck next time, or no problem, or any such thing. Even one smile can act as a lubricant. And all these things are to be incorporated in any work atmosphere. And with everybody, this will hold good. And whether they are seniors, whether they are our colleagues, whether they are going to be juniors, and or maybe a layman working, or with all these people, all such courtesies are very essential. These courtesies are universal. So, irrespective of the age, gender, and nowadays in corporate offices, there is no much difference between, male workers and female workers also. So, the same type of courtesy can be utilized by everybody, can be utilized for everybody also. That we can say the same thing. And as far as slang is concerned, let us not be, all acronyms can be taken into account. All acronyms are used by everybody. They can use all those things. And this, as I told you in English, yes, could you or will you or anything, instead of demanding any work from them, we can very politely, courteously, we can say these words and we can get along. And as far as slang is concerned, every country has its own slang. Like British English is supposed to be the most esteemed one for us because we learned from them. We learned from them, and that is the origin of it. So naturally, we were unknowingly, we were following only them. And nowadays, American English also is there. That slang, of course, the people, those who are there, they are using it, and even the systems are using it. In systems, COLOR is color.
In computer.
In computers. In computers, when such honor, HONOR, honorable also. So our old English will say HONOUR.
You are.
COLOUR. And such things are not to be seen now. And even those things may be underlined as in red. So, of course, because, everything is based on American slang. So let us accept that as American slang. And if that is comfortable for you, you can use it, no problem. And if British English, because we learned, it's a learned language for us. We are not native speakers, but we are acting as native speakers. So we have learned from them, and for your information, this is something going to be a very beautiful information. The people, those who have gone abroad, they keep saying nowadays, the people from India, all the Indians, those who are staying outside, are talking better English than the other country people, non-English speaking countries.
Okay.
From there, the people come and their English, is not up to the expectations, whereas Indians can talk better English. Even the Indians, those who feel that they are not good at English, they know only 30% or 40% or 50%, even such people talk better English.
Okay.
So this is a very encouraging information, and all the people, those who listen to this, have a strong faith that you can talk good English. A day will come and our English is getting accepted. The only thing is we have to have some deliberations, and those deliberations will take us to heights.
So how to use English during an official meeting, ma'am?
Number one, English is accepted as the official language, not only in UK and US, in India also, in many other countries also. So it is an official language there, whether online or offline, or even if it is going to be one-to-one or any such meeting. Let us start with a nice greeting. So whether it is good morning or hi everybody or something like that. So a pleasing one, pleasing. We are going to avoid any friction anywhere. Okay. Even if there is going to be a hot topic which is going to be discussed in the meeting, by our mental caliber, we can make it very soft, and we can become successful in that also. That for that, what is required is beautiful English or beautiful thought in mind. Of course, English is a vehicle. English cannot achieve everything. No, we should know that. But at the same time, we should know that our thought must be so good. We should be able to defend ourselves. During meetings, we should be able to communicate properly what we think. A sort of convincing only. When you say that something has to be achieved, we have to convince, for which you must have beautiful grammatical English. And if it is going to be in person, then naturally your body language can have an appeal. That's really good. Certain places we may not be able to, we need not utter certain words. So even by your look, by your smile, you will be able to communicate. That is necessary for meeting. But if it is going to be an online meeting where you don't see the face at all, there you have to say that word, whatever it is, that is required. And even in meetings, No personal
Talks.
at all.
How to use English in an accepted informal way at our workplace?
It is easy also in a way. It's not going to be different totally. We have to avoid formal style. That's all.
Like meeting someone at the corridor or near the balcony, near the
Canteen.
stairs, or while sending a message via
Yeah,
WhatsApp in those sort of.
When you are sending a message, if he is able to understand, it's okay.
Okay.
How are you and all, HRU and all these right nowadays. So all such things, any acronym is accepted provided the other person understands. So I got a message from somebody earlier, and there was some acronym. I didn't understand that at all. But I was wondering why this is sent. And I was having my own permutations and combinations, and I thought that this could be that could be this. Only after the person comes, I have to ask him. And I asked him, and after that I understood, oh, this is so and so, this is what is what. So, provided it is accepted or understood by the other party, any acronym or any slang is accepted. And if it is we can be very casual also, while talking, maybe in canteen and all, hi bye. And pretty well in all corporate, all organized companies everywhere, they call them by name. And of course sometimes it is going to be different also. So when it is going to be like that, let them be free. That is not going to be a problem at all. But where decorum is to be maintained, there that the decorum has to be seen. For the formality, unless and until this is going to be violated for unnecessary reason, so this cannot be accepted at all. So let us try to understand that formality is for formal occasions. Otherwise, anything accepted by the system, anything accepted by the senior or colleagues or juniors or other colleagues or all these people, we can have a good slang. Of course, we can be very funny also. You can be very funny. We can be, you can ridicule them, you can mock at them, but of course, everything is within limit. So we should not go beyond the limit. That is very essential. It should not be offensive. We cannot, of course, offend anybody. We don't have the rights to do that. And especially sexual harassment or any such thing, especially words, verbally, we should not do such things. And let us remember, everybody should remember that there is a posh committee in every big firms. So let us remember that and behave accordingly. Let us be too friendly. Good friendship can be maintained.
Ma'am, generally when we talk about a workplace, we categorize the work sectors into organized and unorganized work sectors. So what sort of slang or English type we should use in an organized sector and in an unorganized sector?
In an organized sector, let us remember that it is going to be a place where you are going to come every day. So they have to meet the people every day. It's going to be a routine. It's a regular feature. So we have to have the relationship getting maintained. But that doesn't mean in an unorganized place where people are taken for contract. So on contract basis, they'll be working there maybe for 3 months for project also. So they may come for some assignment and they'll finish that assignment, they'll go off. But at the same time, they have to prove their ability and skill. So they have to do that. And naturally, they have to work in a very quick way and they have to impress them. Whereas in this continuous process, this is going to be a continuous process. In an organized sector, this is a continuous process. So they can prove if something is getting left out today, but maybe that can be continued next day. Even in English, or even if they are going to talk about certain things, oh, I forgot about it. Okay, maybe tomorrow I can continue. Whereas in this, it's not going to be like that. So it is going to be a 1 month project. So let us try to finish it. And as they are finishing it, they have to give impressive language. So their language should be impressive and they have to be, of course, polite. And of course, they are foregoing certain things. They are foregoing their monetary benefits like, PF or any such thing may not be there. So when they are foregoing all those things, their work, their skill alone will be taken into account. And there they have to see their language and their behavior in a neat way. And slang, of course, if it is admissible in that particular context, it's okay. Otherwise, let us be formal. Even in unorganized, they should be a little more formal if required. Depending on the situation, their English must be utilized.
Okay, ma'am. In human life, nothing is enough, isn't it? We need more and more of everything. I should say the positive side of this is that when it comes to a skill, while learning a skill, I feel like we should not get content. We should be ready to learn more and more. So, could you please tell us like how to improve our English skills at our workplace?
It varies from work to work. So naturally, just imagine a teacher's job. So if a person is going to group, in olden days, like maybe in other countries, in fact, uh, at the age of 10 or 11, they are just choosing their career.
Okay.
Whereas we people are given the chance only at the age of 16, 15 or 16. So naturally, we take a longer time. Of course, we have a very broad foundation. Whether it is going to be at the age of 11 or at the age of 16, whatever it is, they can start whenever they. I am going to be a teacher. If a person decides, I am going to be a teacher, let her or him decide what to do, how to develop English. Without English, he cannot be a mathematics teacher also. So this is essential now. So at least for reading books, he must have English. So even if he's going to talk in any other vernacular, they must be able to communicate in English at certain times. So for which this is a must. That is, they should know their field. Once they know their field, a science teacher teaching a second standard child, maybe a class, should know the word Vibgyor. So such jargons will be there. Such technical terms will be there. Technical knowledge in any office is a must. So their field will demand some technical vocabulary. So without that, they cannot survive. For survival, they must learn. And all these things will be generated by the world every day by day. And they have to keep abreast with the latest always. So for which, otherwise they'll have obsolete knowledge. So the knowledge will be totally away from the line. So for which they have to strain. And the science teacher, or maybe any other teacher for that matter, first of all, they have to keep their knowledge updated always, maybe by the latest books or latest news or latest inventions or whatever is required for their job. Instead of knowing something about art and other things, of course, a teacher is supposed to know everything, but their particular field should be known. So similarly, a salaried person, maybe in any employee of any company, he cannot be satisfied with what he has. Otherwise, his salary also will remain the same, and he also, the usual, enhancement alone will be there, unless and until he proves himself worthy of such things. So, when they usually say being a poor boy can be his fate, but dying as a poor boy is not a fate. It is what he made, so for which he is responsible. Unless and until once he is contented with what he has, once he joins a company, that's all, enough. With that, everything comes to a standstill point. What he has to do is, he has to develop. And what else can I do? What else can I do for the company? Or what else can I do for developing my knowledge? So a salaried person naturally has to work like this. Let him read a lot of newspapers. Nowadays, newspaper reading has become, it's almost extinct. I think I can say that. So for which, at least they can read podcast. They will give beautiful English. Beautiful stories are there. So let them, the small instrument that they have has a world in it. And that world can be utilized by everybody. The only thing is they have to know the ways to use how to utilize them. That should be known to them. So once they know that, they can use. And businessmen, of course, they know the methods. They will have good knowledge already. So otherwise they cannot survive. So they will manage. But their English will enhance their fences. So they can have a very wide spread of their business. So for which their English is required. Otherwise, he has to be there within a small area. Whereas if he wants to improve his business, like any other company, any other big company, he has to develop, for which he too must, every day they must keep their eyes and ears open. All of them. They have to keep their eyes and ears open every time. Only then, anything in the name of English they should learn. Anything in the name of English they should listen. Unless and until they do that. Or maybe online classes are there. Without any hesitation they have to learn. Or they must have a mentor, and that mentor should be contacted almost every day. And they can gain vocabulary and all those. I'll give us tips. These people, especially the people those who have job, they have to develop their vocabulary relating to their jobs. That is very essential.
Okay, ma'am. So far we spoke, like the importance of English for people who are working. And with this, we have come to the end of this show. And as a senior English academician, could you, give us some tips or guidance for people of all ages, let it be children or, like adults, schoolgoers, college students, and even for old age people, tips to improve their English, spoken English skills?
Yeah, we have come to the same point where we started, the same spoken English. First of all, nobody should hesitate to talk English. There should not be any fear about it. I still hear some people saying, I'm scared of English. And they avoid the people, those who talk English. And because some people call them, he started talking Peter English. So such words should be avoided, totally avoided. And if they want to learn English, it is not that they have to attend a class. Number one, they should live with the people, those who come from other languages.
Okay.
So if a North Indian is there, or maybe some other state person is there, if they are going to send a child, or even this lady, or maybe a housewife, so if she's going to be there, she can talk with them there. There is no other way of communicating. So they have to say something. Even if they want a pickle, for coffee powder, so they have to use some English words. And like that, give, take, bring, please give, please do this, wait for me. All such simple English.
Basic connecting
words, like base verbs. All these verbs will be utilized by them, and they will easily pick up. And they too must hear podcast and all. So that will be giving a very good opportunity for them to develop English. And of course they have to read newspapers if they want. And they must create atmosphere. And number one, they should, if at all they happen to hear any English, if they don't know the word, they don't know the meaning. I'll give an instance where I learnt like this. The word vulnerable was used by my professor when I was there in first year. She used that word for telling, don't go near that area that is near principal's room. That's the most vulnerable place, she said. And I was wondering what this vulnerable could be. I didn't know the meaning. I didn't even know the spelling. I just heard this pronunciation of it. I just wrote it as vulnerable, so maybe the same spelling. And I wrote it in Tamil also.
Okay.
So yeah, I wrote it. Very immediately on the day when I came home, I referred to the dictionary and I started knowing the meaning of that word as well as the spelling. So that is a very sensitive place. So I never forget that word. The only thing is, we have to keep our eyes and ears open. Always. Let us, even if they are going to shout at us, if a word is going to come in English, let us be happy about it. Let us not think that only the teachers can teach. Any person who is talking over TV also in English, please sit near him and just understand what he talks. Maybe when we listen to English news for the first time, one person who doesn't know much English will not know at all. He will not know. He will not understand anything. Maybe on the 10th day he will understand. Let him learn Tamil or let him learn Telugu or whatever his mother tongue is. Let him read that paper, and if he listens to it, he will understand 40% of it. And maybe after 10 days, without reading that paper, he will understand that English. The only thing is deliberation. He has to work. And everybody can develop. This is not at all a big task. The only thing is, and children, of course, schools are there. Children, when they learn, the schools are there. among children have a real natural ability to pick up any language faster.
Okay.
We can teach them 3 languages also, 3 to 4 languages also, whereas the other adults are really reluctant. And let us not be reluctant. Let us have a happy mood and let us decide that we have to learn English. Decide and you can learn English. As Bacon said, reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing a perfect man. Let us be all the 3.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I should say it's a pleasure meeting you, and thanks a lot for sharing all the inputs to improve our English speaking skills, ma'am.
Thanks a lot to Akashvani, and wish you all the best, and wish all the listeners a very bright life and with good English.
Okay, ma'am. Dear listeners, I'm sure that today you would have enjoyed the show, and I'm sure this show would have enhanced your English skills. So with this, we have come to the end of this show, and meet you in the next show. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy, take care, bye.
Titled English at Workplace. Participating in the interview was Dr. Subbulakshmi, Senior Principal, SMS Group of Schools, Chennai. She was interviewed by Dr. R.SriHari. This program came to you from the studios of Akashvani, Chennai.